Patrik Laine is still without an NHL contract. And for a player with his talent, that is a surprising situation. The former Montreal Canadiens winger entered free agency after his 4-year, $34.8 million contract ended. Montreal decided not to bring him back, and Laine is now looking for a new team. But the big question is simple. Did the Canadiens make the right choice? Laine's last season in Montreal was one he would probably like to forget. He played only 5 games during the 2025-26 regular season. He recorded just 1 assist and did not score a goal. The reason was a serious core muscle injury that required surgery. That injury kept him out for most of the season. But there is another part of this story that makes Laine so interesting. By the end of the season, Laine said he had been cleared medically and was healthy enough to play. Still, he did not return to Montreal's lineup, even during the Canadiens' playoff run to the Eastern Conference Final. Laine later explained that after being away for so long, he understood that he was not going to get back into the lineup. That decision tells us something important about Montreal. The Canadiens were building a young team that had found success without Laine. Their young players were playing well, and coach Martin Louis stayed with the group that got the team deep into the playoffs. Laine was no longer part of that plan. Laine is a free agent, and teams are still looking at him. Recent reports have listed several possible destinations, including the New York Rangers and other NHL clubs. One of the biggest reasons teams may still be interested is his power play ability. Laine has always had a special weapon, his shot. When he gets time and space, he can change a game with one swing of his stick. His career record also matters. Laine has already scored 224 goals in the NHL, and he once scored 44 goals in a single season. That history shows why teams may believe there is still something valuable inside him. That is why this story is bigger than just finding Laine a new team. If he signs a cheap deal, gets healthy, finds a shot again, and starts scoring, Montreal could eventually look back and wonder if they gave up on him too soon. And this is exactly why Patrik Laine could become one of the most interesting free agents left on the market. He does not need to prove that he can score goals in the NHL. He has already done that. The real question is whether a team believes it can keep him healthy and put him in the right role. Several teams have been mentioned as possible landing spots. Recent reports have connected Laine with teams such as the New York Rangers, Edmonton Oilers, Philadelphia Flyers, and Tampa Bay Lightning. These are possible fits being discussed by media outlets, not confirmed offers or completed negotiations. Edmonton is another possible destination. New York could use more scoring, but the same question follows Laine everywhere. How much risk is a team willing to take? A short contract could make sense for both sides. Laine would get a chance to rebuild his value, while the team would avoid making a huge long-term commitment. That may actually be the key to Laine's next contract. After missing almost an entire season, he may not get anything close to the $8.7 million annual salary from his previous deal. His next team could offer a shorter contract with a smaller salary, giving Laine a chance to prove that his best hockey is still ahead of him. His previous contract expired after the 2025-26 season, and he is now an unrestricted free agent. But here is the part Canadiens fans should watch. Montreal already showed that it could win without Laine. The Canadiens reached the Eastern Conference Final, and Laine did not play in the playoffs. NHL.com reported that he had been medically cleared, but remained out of the lineup. Montreal has since moved forward with its young core, while Laine remains unsigned. So if Laine joins another team and suddenly returns to his old scoring form, the conversation will change very quickly. Nobody can answer that today. Laine still has to stay healthy, earn a roster spot, and prove that he can produce again. But the talent is still there, and one strong season could completely change the story. And somewhere around the NHL, a team may be looking at that famous shot and thinking it can unlock the player. Montreal could not. The Maple Leafs have made a decision that almost nobody saw coming. They hired someone trusted by one of hockey's greatest stars for more than 20 years. And this move could be much bigger than it looks. Is this the final piece to end years of disappointment, or is Toronto quietly preparing for something even more surprising? The Toronto Maple Leafs have made one of the most interesting moves of the offseason, but it is not a trade a free agent signing, or a coaching change behind the bench. Instead, the team hired Andy O'Brien to lead its sport performance department. At first, this might not sound like a huge story. After all, most fans pay attention to goals, assists, and blockbuster trades. But when you learn who Andy O'Brien is and why so many people around the NHL respect him, this move suddenly becomes much bigger than it first appears. Andy O'Brien is one of the most respected performance experts in hockey. For more than 20 years, he has worked closely with Sidney Crosby, helping one of the greatest players in NHL history stay in top condition year after year. Crosby has played through long seasons, recovered from injuries, and remained one of the league's best players well into his career. While Crosby deserves the credit for his success, O'Brien has long been an important part of his training and preparation behind the scenes. But Crosby is not the only star connected to O'Brien. Over the years, he has also worked with elite NHL players like Nathan MacKinnon and John Tavares. He has also been involved with professional organizations that value modern sports science and player development. That experience has made him one of the most trusted names in hockey performance. So why did the Maple Leafs want him? The answer is simple. Toronto is trying to improve every part of the organization, not just the players on the ice. Since John Chayka became the team's general manager, he has focused on making smart changes behind the scenes. Instead of looking for quick fixes, the organization is investing in areas that can help the team over many years. Andy O'Brien's new job is much bigger than running workouts in the gym. He will oversee the entire sport performance department. That includes strength and conditioning, sports science, nutrition, recovery programs, injury prevention, rehabilitation, and other performance systems designed to help players stay healthy and perform at their best throughout the long NHL season. Think about how important that really is. Every season, injuries, fatigue, and recovery can change the outcome of games. A player who recovers faster can practice more, perform better, and stay on the ice longer. Even small improvements in strength, endurance, and recovery can make a difference over an 82-game season. Toronto believes these small advantages can add up in a big way. To understand why this move matters, you have to look at how hockey has changed. Years ago, teams focused mostly on talent and hard work. Today, the best organizations also invest in sports science. They study how players train, recover, eat, sleep, and prepare for every game. These small details can make a big difference over a long NHL season. That is where Andy O'Brien's experience becomes valuable. His job is not to score goals or coach during games. His job is to help create an environment where players can perform at their highest level. Better recovery can help players feel stronger during busy schedules. Better conditioning can help them stay fast late in games. Better injury prevention may help keep key players on the ice instead of watching from the sidelines. General Manager John Chayka appears to be thinking about the future, not just the next few months. Since taking over hockey operations, he has continued making changes throughout the organization. Instead of focusing on one big headline, he has worked on improving different parts of the team behind the scenes. The hiring of Andy O'Brien fits that same plan. It is another step toward building a stronger foundation for long-term success. Of course, this move does not guarantee a Stanley Cup. No performance coach can promise championships, and fans know that winning still depends on the players, the coaches, and what happens on the ice. But successful teams often look for every possible advantage. If better preparation helps players stay healthier and perform more consistently, that could become an important part of Toronto's future. Many fans are especially interested because of O'Brien's long relationship with Sidney Crosby. For more than 20 years, Crosby has remained one of hockey's biggest stars despite injuries and the physical demands of the NHL. While Crosby's success comes from his own talent and dedication, many people believe O'Brien's performance programs have helped him stay in elite condition throughout his career. That reputation is one reason this hiring has created so much excitement. The Maple Leafs also have a mix of experienced veterans and young talent. A strong performance program can benefit every player in different ways. Veterans may recover faster after games, while younger players can build healthy training habits early in their careers. If everyone improves even a little, the team as a whole could become stronger over an entire season. Now the attention turns to what happens next. One simple photo has Maple Leafs fans talking again, and the internet is filled with one big question. Why were Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews standing together after everything that happened? The images spread fast, emotions exploded, and fans started wondering if this reunion means more than just friendship. But before jumping to conclusions, there's an important part of this story that almost everyone is missing. Mitch Marner may now wear the colors of the Vegas Golden Knights, but one recent post reminded hockey fans of his years with the Toronto Maple Leafs. During the NHL offseason, Marner shared a group of photos from his summer on social media. At first, the pictures looked like normal offseason memories, but one photo quickly caught everyone's attention. It showed Marner standing with Austin Matthews and several former Maple Leafs teammates during Frederik Andersen's wedding celebration. Within hours, the picture was being shared across hockey pages, and fans everywhere started talking about what it could mean. For many Maple Leafs fans, seeing Marner and Matthews together again brought back a lot of memories. The two stars spent years playing on the same team. They celebrated exciting wins, fought through tough playoff losses, and became two of the biggest faces of the franchise. Even though Marner has now started a new chapter with the Vegas Golden Knights, the friendship between the former teammates was clear in the wedding photos. The smiles and relaxed moments show that time together away from the ice can still bring old teammates together. The wedding itself made the reunion even more special. Frederik Andersen was not just another teammate. During his years with Toronto, Andersen became one of the team's most trusted goalies and shared many important moments with both Marner and Matthews. Over the years, Andersen and Marner have spoken warmly about their friendship. Even after Andersen left Toronto, they stayed in touch. That made his wedding the perfect place for former teammates to meet again, celebrate together, and enjoy time away from hockey. As the photos spread online, fans quickly began creating their own stories. Some people wondered if the reunion meant Marner missed Toronto. Others asked if Matthews wanted his former teammate back with the Maple Leafs one day. A few even suggested that something bigger could be happening behind the scenes. But it is important to separate excitement from facts. There has been no announcement about Marner returning to Toronto. There has been no report of contract talks, trade discussions, or secret meetings. The gathering happened because close friends came together to celebrate a wedding, not because of NHL business. It is also important to understand what these photos do not mean. Since Marner joined the Vegas Golden Knights, some fans have hoped he could return to Toronto one day. Others have wondered if he still keeps in touch with his former teammates. The wedding photos answered one question: yes, the friendships are still there. But they did not answer another question that many fans continue asking. There has been no official report that Marner wants to return to the Maple Leafs. There have been no trade talks announced, no contract discussions, and no sign that this reunion had anything to do with hockey business. It was a private celebration shared with friends. Frederik Andersen's wedding gave everyone a chance to step away from the pressure of the NHL. During the season, players compete against each other and focus on helping their own teams win. But away from the ice, many players remain close friends. That is exactly what fans saw in these pictures. They saw former teammates laughing together, celebrating an important day, and enjoying time with people who have shared years of memories. Sometimes, the strongest hockey stories are not about goals or championships. They are about the friendships that continue long after teammates go their separate ways. Still, it is easy to understand why Leafs fans became emotional. For years, Marner and Matthews were two of the biggest stars in Toronto. Many supporters believed that group had everything needed to win the Stanley Cup. Although that dream never became reality, fans still remember the excitement those teams created. Seeing Marner standing beside Matthews again reminded many people of what could have been. That feeling alone was enough to make the photos spread across social media and hockey news pages within hours. As more fans reacted online, one thing became clear. This reunion was about respect, friendship, and shared history. It was not about making headlines with a surprise announcement. Sometimes, a single picture can bring back years of memories without anyone saying a word. That is exactly what happened here. Mitch Marner's post reminded the hockey world that while jerseys may change and careers may move in different directions, real friendships often remain the same. For now, the facts are clear. Mitch Marner is focused on his future with the Vegas Golden Knights. Auston Matthews remains the leader of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Frederik Andersen celebrated one of the happiest days of his life, surrounded by friends and former teammates. Beyond that, there is no confirmed hockey news hidden inside these photos. But one simple reunion has reminded everyone why this former Maple Leafs core is still one of the most talked about groups in the NHL, and fans will continue watching every interaction between these familiar faces. The Toronto Maple Leafs are making headlines again, but this isn't the trade anyone expected. A former first-round pick with an unbelievable comeback story is suddenly being connected to Toronto. Why are experts talking about this move now, and what could it mean for the Leafs? The Toronto Maple Leafs are once again at the center of NHL trade talk. But this time, the name getting everyone's attention is not a superstar. Instead, it is Washington Capitals forward Ivan Miroshnichenko. A new report says hockey analysts believe Toronto should try to trade for the young winger before the new NHL season begins. While there's no official trade being discussed between the two teams, the idea has quickly become one of the biggest offseason conversations among Leafs fans. The question is simple. Could this be the hidden move that helps Toronto become a stronger team? Ivan Miroshnichenko is only 22 years old, but his hockey journey has already been filled with challenges. Before the 2022 NHL draft, many scouts believed he was one of the best young players available. Then everything changed when he was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma. It was a difficult moment that could have ended his hockey dream. Instead of giving up, Miroshnichenko fought through treatment, recovered, and returned to the ice. His determination inspired people across the hockey world, and the Washington Capitals still believed in his talent enough to select him in the first round of the draft. Since joining the Capitals organization, Miroshnichenko has spent most of his time developing with the Hershey Bears in the American Hockey League, while also earning opportunities in the NHL. He is known for playing with strength, using his powerful shot, and working hard around the front of the net. Coaches like his physical style, and many scouts still believe he has the potential to become a reliable NHL goal scorer. Even though his NHL opportunities have been limited so far, many people believe there is much more to his game than fans have seen. But here is where the story becomes even more interesting. There is still one major question nobody can answer. If Miroshnichenko has so much potential, why would the Washington Capitals even consider letting him go? That question has created a huge debate among hockey fans, and the possible answer could completely change the way this trade rumor is viewed. The biggest reason this trade idea is getting so much attention is because of Washington's current roster. The Capitals have several forwards fighting for NHL spots, making it difficult for every young player to get regular ice time. Sometimes a talented prospect needs a fresh start with another team to reach his full potential. That is why some analysts believe Toronto could take advantage of the situation. It is important to remember, though, that there is no report saying Washington is actively trying to trade Ivan Miroshnichenko. Right now, this is an idea being discussed by hockey writers and analysts, not a confirmed deal. For the Maple Leafs, this type of move could make sense. Toronto's management has shown that it wants to stay competitive while also getting younger. Instead of spending big money on another veteran player, adding a young forward with room to grow could be a smart, long-term decision. Miroshnichenko is still on an affordable contract, which is valuable for a team that has to carefully manage its salary cap. If he develops into a consistent scorer, the Leafs could gain a quality player without giving up a major part of their future. Of course, every trade comes with risk. Miroshnichenko has shown flashes of his talent, but he has not yet played a full NHL season as an everyday player. That means nobody knows exactly how he would perform with bigger minutes against the league's best competition. Toronto would have to believe that its coaches and development staff could help unlock the next level of his game. If that happens, the move could look brilliant. If it does not, fans may wonder whether the team should have chased a more proven player instead. Another question fans are asking is what Toronto would need to give up. At this point, there is no confirmed trade package. Some people believe a